You thought it was the end of skeletons, my people. Oh, my friends, oh, my comrades, it's not the end. Skeleton wheels is the theme of this episode, I gotta say. Oh god, I remember seeing them in the manga, and I remember those look so fucking dumb. Like, they look so dumb. I'm happy that for once the CGI can actually show how dumb they are in full action. And they're just like, Guts is just like finding these skeleton wheels like, oh shit, curse, screw you, and they're just rolling around like idiots. Like, and it's like, you really think that this is such an intimidating opponent? Like, and he just swings and like destroys them in fucking mere seconds. So now we get to go into the actual Berserk episode and kind of getting the introduced. This is the actual proper introduction of this character. Isadora, I'm so used to calling him Isadora because of like the manga, like the translations are weird for a bunch of the characters, like, so it's gonna be weird when we get to characters like Shriek, like, cause no one knows how to pronounce that fucking name because it's fucking impossible, but it's like, literally at the start, he was getting, like, fucking bummed out, like, all these, like, guards, or so-called guards, where they're like, give us all your food and your ale, and it's like, alright, I'll give you all, and then ends up, he poisoned all that shit, and he was like, then all his friends and buddies just decided to arrive, and he's like, oh no, and all that, like, you know, the Kushins arrived, and like, he was crying, he was like, yeah, the Kushins tried to arrive, and then, what no one realizes that the Kushins generally arrived for this shit, and I was like, wow, this motherfucker is just like, you got the fucking Kushin coming around, and even that prince, like, from, like, all the way back to, like, the Golden Age, I'm not sure, like, that guy with, like, all the muscly, like, Kushin, like, all from back there, like, I'm sure a lot of people will probably remember him from, I believe he's in the third movie. Since I haven't seen the movies themselves, I imagine he'd probably be in the third one where like Guts fighting and he's got like all those weird like, you know, like whips and chains and shit like that, and it's just like he's got these four muscly motherfuckers alongside with him, and it's just like, yeah, this, now we know that the Kushin are getting definitely involved with the invasion, and it's like, yeah, they definitely want to set some shit up, and just like when they come in, Guts just comes walking around saying like, I just want to walk by, actually, I just want to go by and deal with this shit, but then no, it's just like Guts is just like, let me through, and then the Kushins are just like, boom, boom, and it's like if these fast-ass fucking ninja kind of guys like that, assassins, can't even defeat Guts, that's someone on a level where it's like he's lifting this fucking giant dragon slayer. It's like, how just strong and how much strength is he pulling into it, where he's like cleaning through like 3 or 4 guys. It's just like, Jesus Christ, like that, and they're just like clean in half, like just out of the way and all that, you pieces of shit. I will say though, like for like every like scene, like the 2D scenes, like actually looked really good. Like the one thing I will say is that it was weird when they tried to combine both at the same time. So you'll have to look at like 2D characters, and then you had like when Mogus was there with like, you know, like with Farness, and they were like, see, it didn't meld well with me. And I gotta say, like when you, like a good chunk of this episode was seeing like everything from the Tower of Convictions, like sort of point of view, where a bunch of like people were just hungry. It's like, we need food, please, Noah, we need it. And it's just like, you know, my child, and like Mogus is there like, oh, thank you so much, like, you know, like, this woman clearly sinned and all that, but she did it with a pure heart. We will give her baby food and nourishment. We'll give them all, but you still have to, like, you know, repent for your sins and all that. And then you just have this horrible fucking torture area where people are just getting carved and fucking, like, all this nasty shit is just happening. Like, people, like, look at, like, the first episode of, like, Akame got killed, because Akame just straight up just saw this and was like, we're just gonna do this. Like, that was the third episode of Akame's like, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. And it's like, no, this is where it fucking came from, this shit. And like he was like, the Mogus was crying, it's like, you were so brave, but a sin is sin. I beg you to overcome this from the God himself. And it's like, no, you fucking psycho, this has nothing to do with God, it's just you being a fucking psychopath, and you're just doing it and clearly thinking so you can go and get off. And even like Farness was like a little bit, whoa, you know, Farness was like getting up a little bit to the whipping and all that, but then even it's like the torture was like, ooh, this is a bit too fucking much even for me. And one of the things is like, we finally get to see, you know, what kind of Casca's been up to. Like, she met with like this prostitute Luca, which, you know, full on banging you get to see in this episode, which was like, oh, okay, you know, like I really like kind of really like this chick and all that. It's like, look, like, we're gonna share everything with everyone and all that, and the main reason is like, I'm gonna like bandage up Casca just so like no one's like pretends like, oh yeah, she got the disease and everything, like, you know, this is what they're gonna do. It's like, so no one can touch Casca, no one's gonna fuck her, and it's just like, if she was on her own, she would have like already been like taken taken by someone, and I was like, oh, I really appreciate this chick, and all that. I always liked Luca. I always thought she was always cool, and I was like, I appreciate that she did that, and like, she even still, she knows like what kind of job she's doing anyway, like to Pamela. But it's like, yeah, she's doing it to help everyone. Like, she's getting food out of this, she's getting money, she's getting all this kind of stuff from it, and it's just like, I appreciate like the first guy that she was with was like literally saying like how much of Farnese is just like, she's just nothing. She's just like, all she is just a figurehead and all that. She ain't skilled in fighting or leadership. She's just there because like all the holy Iron Chain Knights have a female commander as a tradition. That's like, she's only a figurehead, and it's just like, what, you're saying this as banging, like what a big turn off. It's like, yeah, my commander's such a bitch, like that. And like you guys see like one of the other chicks as well, like she was like the blonde one, was like actually like she's like, she gave her like medicine because yeah, she's like fucking ill as hell like that. She's like bleeding out of the fucking dash, and there's pus coming out, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of what happens in this day and age and all that when you're fucking a prostitute like that. It's like really got like fucking all crazy and shit like that. But like, and then you see right at the end like Casca's brand starts reacting, and there's fucking demons around here, so it's like, this is the shit that you gotta do. So we kind of got an interesting like perspective where you got Luca is like with Casca right now, and they're at the Tower of Condition, and like Guts is with like Isadora, like where he's just there, and it's like, I kind of want you to teach me, and I kind of want you to tell his swords, but regardless, and I appreciate he tried to pick up the Dragon Slayer, and it just did not work, and Guts was, this is how fucking badass he is to go get to like, kind of like, immediately get back to Casca. He ran for an entire day and a half, like an entire day and a half, just like, you was running for like 40, like around about like 30 odd hours straight. It's like, you fucking badass. Like, my god, like, fuck me, I can't even fucking run like 10 minutes and then I'll be fucking out of breath. But it's like, I always gotta give that respect to Guts. Like, I always love that stuff from him, and it's just like, I think it was nice that now that we're finally like giving a bunch more like characters like time to shine. And this is what I kind of really like about this, like the Conviction arc, is that it like, even though it's Guts, like, you know, Guts is a fucking amazing character, and like Puck is hilarious. It's kind of nice that we're finally getting other characters now, like we're now finally getting out their backstories, and it's like, oh, you know, it kind of builds like the world, like, and find out like, this is how normal people live in the world, or this is what happens when some people just don't have food and all that, and don't have, like, aren't strong and not from nobility. This is like how some of the people just have to deal with it, and it's just like, especially in this time and age when we're at war and everything. So I really do like that, and definitely I like that, like, you know, Luca was such a, you know, she's a really good leader. I really like that, even though, like, you know, she's a prostitute and she knows what she's doing is, like, you know, fucked up and all that, but she's like, yeah, we're doing this to everyone to survive, you know, get all the, and you of course share your rations with all the villagers and all that. So I really appreciated that. So other than that, I did like this episode a lot. Like, I mean, apart from the, you know, the usual problems, which we won't get into, like I think it was fantastic. I had to say that, oh, the skeletons are so fucking dumb. They are, like, they look so dumb on the wheels, like, it's so retarded. But, and yeah, Mogus just remains to be the most fucking creepiest piece of shit priest in the entire existence. I think I'd give this episode, like, probably an 8. I think it was a really enjoyable episode. Like, you know, like, the marks are getting down, obviously, for usual problems, but I did like it. And the preview, I'm just like, how is that even gonna get into the show? Like, because like, the preview, it shows a certain scene going down, and I'm like, how is that gonna be? I'm very curious about that scene being told, so we'll have to wait and see about that. But, like, on that, thank you very much for watching as always, and I'll see you beautiful bastards, though, next time.